Greetings, Questers. I'm here to give you the update that a number of you have probably been waiting for, as well as myself, which is the one that includes hexagonal grids. It's taken me some time to get this going and to get it right. There are still some issues that I'll have to deal with at a later date. I just didn't want to keep holding this release up. And so I decided to release it as it is. With a couple of known issues down at the bottom, and I wanted to highlight them right up front, which is when you start to resize tokens in the hex grid, it starts to get a little goofy. They still work, but it can get not as clean as I'd like it to be, and it's something that I do know of and something I plan on improving and getting better over time. But as long as you keep the tokens at a standard size, they will work perfectly. So without much further ado, I'll get into the two major pieces to 4.3.0, which is hexagonal grids and the token frames. So what we'll start off with, I'll start off with the token frames and how I've changed the way each frame gets rendered on the page now. If you zoom in, you'll see that the frames are actually a little different now, and they're actually a little cleaner, as well as the pointers will be a little different. And what you can do is you can now customize these to the player's desire or to the GM desire. Whoever owns the character can update this. And the easiest way to do that is you simply just open the character. And you'll want to do this on this main character, not on the double-clicked version, because this only shows the actual character sheet as opposed to the actual settings created for it. You'll go to the settings, and you'll notice here under this settings, under the image, there are two new features here. There's this inner glow color, as well as the edit frame style. And the glow color is there so that if people want to kind of denote factions for a specific set of creatures, like, you know, the rats or bad guys, it's very easy for me to come in here, and I'll decide, let me pick like a reddish color, and, you know, I'll change the color. Maybe I'll actually just go full red. Give it a nice kind of bright red, but enough to not be too annoying. And you'll see that the ring here starts to change the color. And when I save this, all the rats on the page will update. And now you can denote which creatures are essentially your enemies. And it's a great way to kind of differentiate the various tokens on the map. This can also be useful for, you know, maybe you want specific colors for specific players, or maybe you want allies to have a different color as well. You can do this all you want. So to follow that up, what you'll want to do from here is to create, to hit this edit frame style, which allows you to actually modify and change the styles of the different frames that we have available now. And this is a number of different frames and pointers that you'll get for free. Everyone will have access to this. My plan is to have many types of themes, sci-fi, modern, whatever, you know, float your boat for this. This is kind of the sky's the limit. And I plan on adding more and more of these pretty much every month. I have worked with an artist to kind of start building a library of these so that everybody has access to these. And you can also see them. There's a toggle here, so you can show the hex version versus the ring version. So if you're a person who uses hex grids, you'll see what they look like in the hex version. So all you have to do is simply toggle between what pointer you want. And it has a number so that you can see. And I can start to toggle between them. And you'll see that I get these really neat different styles for all the different pointers that I want. And we have 6 pointers to start off with. And we can start with the basic one here, which is a new kind of metal shaded one versus our general flat one. And then we can start picking different frames. And here's our new metallic basic frame. Here's our new spiked frame. And then it goes back to our flat. And those are our current frames that we have now. And we'll be adding many more to this. And so what I can do is I can say, you know, maybe for the bad guys, I want to put the spiked frames. And then I can simply click, hey, show me the hex frame. It'll show me the hex version of that frame, and I can go back to the ring frame just as quickly as that. I can also hit cancel, but then I can also just hit accept, and it'll display it down here so you can see what the current frame style is. And when I save this, you'll see that all the frames for that rat or any of the rats have now updated to that new frame. And this allows you to go into doing things for each one of your characters as well. I can come over to our good friend Roard Whiteheart here, and we can change his frame style, and maybe he wants something a little bit more knightly. And so we'll go with the metal frame and the pointed crown. And save it. And there you go. And it works just the same, just as before. You can select your token, hit the F key, and change the facing, and your pointer will follow. Same thing for all of these. You'll notice that the pointer changes to the direction that you want. And that's the new token editor, and lets you modify these at will. Now, the second thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and added the hexagonal grids. And what we'll do is we'll move to a new map, one that we believe that I was working on before. This little custom map that we made, and there's no grid on this one, and maybe we want to make this one hexagonal. And so all you have to do is you open your map settings for the map. You can come into the type here, which is a new property, and you can choose square, hexagonal. And if you hit hexagonal, and save it, and then enable it, and you'll notice that it changed right over to a hexagonal grid. And it works just like everything else with your line colors. You can choose a line color. You can change the alpha value so you can make it blend into the map a little bit more and be a little bit more in the background. And similarly before, the units are the same. If you decide to say 1 unit is 1 square, which is not correct. Maybe for hexes it's more like 1 meter. And so we'll just put an M there to measure the distance, and I'll hit save on that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll grab a couple of characters here. And so let's just go pick a couple of these nice giant rats, which we love to use. We'll drop them right in, and you'll see they fit right in. The tokens are already there. They've got their new ring borders. They have their health bars, which go all the way around, just like before. We'll drop in a couple other tokens here and show off some of the differences. And that's as easy as that. And it does distance measuring just the same. I can go across. It will actually let me do that. I can also continue using waypoints just like I did before. And it will follow the same patterns that you would expect from any other map system. When we talked about some of the issues from before in regards to resizing the tokens. Now the tokens do resize. And if I use the plus key to resize my token here, you'll see it resizes just fine. I can actually still move my token, and the point that you want to follow is up here in the top left. That's actually the anchor for the hexagonal tokens, is the top left. So as I move my token around, it will still measure distances, and it will still give me the correct calculations for that. But when it starts to get a little strange is that because we have a hexagonal border here, it will cover up some of the hexes of the other items, of the other hexes, I mean. And so if I had multiple characters here, it might actually overlap, and you can see that, it could cause a little goofiness, but there's not much to be done about that without getting into some very strange looking patterns for tokens, because otherwise you're covering up a giant portion of the token because you use different patterns, and it makes it hard to make it look artistically pleasing as well, which is a big part of that problem. So anyway, the second part of that, as you start to use your pointer will point directly to one of the hexes, and when you release it, it will be a little off-centered. So it's just something to note. It works fine. It's not that big of a deal, and it's just something I want people to be aware of. And then finally, the last one, which I forget exactly what it was. The borderless tokens. So if you actually have a token that has no border, they do not resize well. So I would not recommend using a borderless token with these, and it's something I will fix down in the future. So that's it for this update. I know that there's kind of a lot to absorb there, and I hope that some of you find that the hexagonal grids work really great for you. If you have problems with it, please let me know. Come into our Discord channel. Give me some feedback. This is a brand new feature, and I've put a lot of work into getting this working. But it probably still needs some polish, and I could definitely use the help. So thanks for stopping by. Keep questing.